What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here to discuss another pro wrestling topic and something that frustrates me from a week to week basis in the WWE. Every so often, we will see a wrestler that was big in NXT or a wrestler that was in NXT, and now they're ready to debut for the WWE. And here today, I am going to discuss that WWE, I think that they forgot how to build characters, and not only how to build characters, but also, more importantly, how to debut characters. And my feeling with this is that the oldest trick in the book, one of the easiest ways and coolest ways to get a wrestler over, called the Vignette, is dead in wrestling, specifically the WWE, and it really badly needs to come back. So with NXT and with WWE, in NXT you first need to understand that there are two separate crowds of wrestling fans that watch the WWE product. There's probably more than two, but let's separate them into two or three groups here. The first group is the group that watches everything WWE, whether it's Raw, whether it's Smackdown, or NXT, 205 Live, you name it, they are hardcore WWE fans. And I've said this many times, and if you're a subscriber to this channel, this might feel like it's repetition, but I need to get it through your head. Then we go to the second group of fans, which is the casual fans that will tune into Raw, tune into Smackdown every once in a blue moon to check out the product. Hey, maybe Brock Lesnar's on the show. Maybe with WrestleMania, they were tuning in to see WrestleMania build up. Maybe they were there to see The Undertaker or Goldberg. You name it. Maybe they were excited to watch wrestling every once in a while. They just tuned the channel to see wrestling was on. So there are two primary fans, and that's hardcore and that's casual. There's somebody in the middle, kind of like myself. I do review wrestling on my channel, so I would consider myself more of the hardcore fan. But I don't watch everything WWE puts out there. I don't watch 205 Live. I don't watch NXT. And I really look at everything in terms of a casual fan from my reviewing perspective. So I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown weekly, but that's mostly just to review the product. I do find enjoyment sometimes in it, but I'd like to review it for you guys who like to see me review the shows. But then we're going off the main subject of the video, and I've kind of got a little bit sidetracked, but those are the three main group of fans. Now, the main group that is going to tune in every single week is the hardcore fans. They're going to know the Ty Dillingers, the Revivals, the Nakamuras, the NXT stars, the NXT superstars. And yes, there are NXT stars. But there is a place in WWE where they keep screwing it up constantly. And that's from the transition between NXT and WWE. Not everybody that watches the WWE weekly Monday Night Raw SmackDown Live product watches NXT. So that also means that nobody knows who the Revival are when they go from NXT to Raw, besides the fans that already watch NXT. The only people that watch NXT are WWE Network subscribers, who are about, I don't know what the number is at right now, but a small portion of your audience that tunes in weekly to watch your product. They're the hardcore fans. The casual fan that tunes every once in a while to Raw is not gonna know who the Revival are because they don't watch NXT. So they're missing the transition period of how to introduce a wrestler onto mainstream television. NXT is not mainstream television. Raw is mainstream television. So what happened? They used to be very good at this. And one of the biggest reasons, and one of my favorite things in wrestling used to be called the Vignette. Now, they still do them every once in a while. I won't say it's 100% dead, but it needs to be there a lot more than it is. Wrestlers like Razor Ramon had awesome vignettes. I'm actually going to leave links of certain guys that I love their vignettes. Edge had great vignettes. Goldust had great vignettes. There was numerous characters. Recently, a vignette that I really liked was Bray Wyatt, and recently meaning 2013. Bray Wyatt is one of the most over wrestlers and most over characters in WWE and in wrestling, partly because of the way they debuted him, using vignettes to get him over. Now, the reason why vignettes are so effective, and you can see this in particular with a guy like Val Venus, if you look up his debut, is that the crowd already knows what that wrestler is about. And it could be the casual crowd too, because it's the crowd that's watching Raw. You have these vignettes, like video packages, showing off the character of the wrestler and showing off what the wrestler is about. So, for Razor Ramon, it was all about the Cuban gangster. Goldust, I don't even know how to describe him, but Goldust. So there is the different type of vignettes to introduce you to the character to determine if you liked or disliked the character. They would give you whether he was a face or a heel. They would give you his backstory. They would give you a little bit of detail about the wrestler. They would maybe even include some personal information about the person himself behind the character every once in a while. Bray Wyatt's was very cool because you kind of understood what his purpose was, what his character was about, what his, identity was as a wrestler and as a character. So everybody was behind him in the rocking chair before they even saw the rocking chair in Bray Wyatt on Monday Night Raw. But nowadays, we see debuts of guys like Ty Dillinger, The Revival, Nakamura without any vignettes and without any recognition of what their character is, what they're about, what their purpose is on the show, how they feel about certain things, if they're a face or a heel. So how is a casual fan or me going to get behind a Nakamura, get behind a Revival, or get behind a Ty Dillinger without that information that these vignettes used to give us? Mr. Perfect, we knew he was perfect because the way that he threw a basketball. You know what I mean? So, Mr. Perfect had some of the best vignettes, by the way. So, just to me, you need to get something in that middle ground. The NXT crowd is not the same as the Raw crowd, and I feel like WWE somewhat has lost that, or they've just totally turned off the casual audience and all they want is the hardcore audience. Sure, if you want to be simple and you want to be lazy, then just have Nakamura do his entrance. Just have the Revival face New Day. Just have Ty Dillinger face whoever the hell he faced. So that's just my opinion on that. You need to give the audience something to get behind. So something like having the Revival come out for a match against the New Day doesn't work because nobody, in terms of the casual audience, knows who they are. Only the hardcore audience who is at the arena knows who they are. So a lot of people are going to say, well, they got pops at the arena because that's the hardcore audience. At the arena, the audience that's at the arena most likely knows the NXT wrestlers because they pay to watch it in the arena. So the people at home that tune in every 2 weeks or 3 weeks to Raw and not Smackdown, not NXT, all that stuff, they're not going to know who Revival is. They don't care to know unless you introduce them with vignettes and with some backstory with their character. Now, I'm bringing up Nakamura, Revival, Ty Dillinger because those are the three most recent names that I can get off of, and always around WrestleMania time, you see new wrestlers come in and you see them debut. Now, they did it basically the same way. Nakamura just did his entrance. I don't know how that's helping him whatsoever. You need to give this guy a character. And first off, he doesn't speak like basically a lick of English. So you need to give him something in terms of a character so people can understand him. He's going to get over if you give him a character because he has that flair and he has the, dramatics and he understands how to, work an audience. The Revival, they're not going to get over like that because they don't know how to, they're not good enough to do that with their charisma. They're wrestlers. And you can go back to seeing guys like Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit, as much as I love him as a wrestler. These guys started off especially with limited character. I still don't know Dean Malenko's character to this day. I still don't know. But if you gave him a character, he might have been pretty entertaining. It's the same for the Revival. They can put on 5-star matches, but nobody cares about a 5-star match without a character and without a storyline. And the Revival, you need to give them what they're about before they come out. Because when you look at the Revival, they look like pretty much average dudes. I mean, they don't look like Brock Lesnar, let's just say. They don't look like a star. So if you don't give me a character for the Revival, why am I going to care about these bald dudes with beards and, you know, they're not ripped? So I don't understand why I would care that much about the Revival, unless I was a huge fan of them in NXT, which I was. But I'm not a fan of them on Raw because they haven't even cut a promo yet. I don't know their character. All they do is have matches with the New Day. That's what I know them for. Ty Dillinger, he's the perfect 10. Why is he the perfect 10? Explain to me why he's the perfect 10. Why do you call him the perfect 10? Why, give me a video package explaining what he is about. Have him cut a promo in a video package explaining why they call him the perfect 10, and maybe he'll get over. You know what I mean? Ty Dillinger is over with the NXT crowd that does the 10. He's not over with the casual audience. First off, because the guy doesn't look like a perfect 10, which I don't understand why that's his gimmick. But anyways, it's a great gimmick. Don't get me wrong. But anyways, Ty Dillinger has a good gimmick. And they should give him, especially Ty Dillinger, some video packages before debuting him. You have a couple of weeks or 3-4 weeks of video packages, even up to 2 months, a video package, not Emelina. And Emelina's was weird because all they did was Instagram slideshows. That's not a vignette. You have Ty Dillinger have these consistent vignettes. Now the casual audience, they see these vignettes. They know what Ty Dillinger is about. They can do the perfect 10 at home with people because they know what it's about. And they know what Ty Dillinger is about. They can rather hate him, they can rather like him, but at least you're going to get a response. Same for the Revival. I mean, give these guys some sort of character. I really don't know what their character is. Their character is basically supposed to be like a throwback sort of tag team wrestling, but that's not a character. That's just a style of wrestling. You need to give me something in something for me to get over, for them to get over with the casual audience. Now, there are 2 other guys that I feel like they came back. Actually, the Hardy Boys is one special one. Obviously, pretty much everybody knows who the Hardy Boys are. But how much cooler would it have been if they would have had vignettes? If they would have had a shocking appeal, maybe like a mysterious Chris Jericho type of vignette to get the people that much more excited. And also, something that they haven't done for the Hardy Boys yet is introduce what their character is. If you've noticed over their first 3 weeks, all they've done is wrestled matches. They haven't cut a promo. So if you would have had vignettes, and I understand they're kind of going through some things with TNA or whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, but they're going through some things with the character issues. But what are the Hardy Boys now? They've obviously evolved since the last time they've come to WWE. They had that whole crazy broken Matt thing, Brother Nero. They had all that stuff. So why don't, if you're going to go with that character and create vignettes around it, kind of mysteriously, and then you can still have them debut at WrestleMania and get that huge pop. Or, you create maybe a similar to their old Hardy Boys thing. Now, the Hardy Boys, I'm not going to really spend a lot of time on because they're obviously over already. It doesn't really matter. But that's just in my opinion. Like, before the Hardy Boys even came out, we could have known, okay, are they Broken Matt? Are they Brother Nero? Or are they the Hardy Boys? We could have known that. Now, a guy that it does bug me because he has so much potential with 2 characters is Finn Balor. Finn Balor has this weird dimension where he is Finn Balor and then he's the Demon. Now, to me personally, I way prefer the Demon because it makes him stand out, makes him look like a star. And the guy by himself is kind of plain. He wears black shorts. He has, a thing around his arm. He looks plain, and he looks like a normal cruiserweight. And the guy is a cruiserweight. So that is the issue with getting him over as just Finn Balor. But to me, you could create a lot of different character things to get him over, at least with myself and the casual audience, by intertwining the Finn Balor personality with the Demon personality. Or to me personally, I would just run with the Demon personality and freaking go all the way with that. But that's just my opinion. The guy isn't a great talker. He would be better as the Demon regardless. That's my opinion. Again, you guys can have your own opinion and like him as just Finn Balor. I don't care. But me personally, I like the Demon. Now, you could still do it both ways. You could have cool vignettes where maybe he's, you know, just for an example, looking into a mirror and he's trying to figure out which one he is. Is he the Demon? Is he Finn Balor? And you could get that across to the casual audience before he even comes back. Because Finn Balor didn't spend a lot of time, and that was my issue with Finn Balor when he came out the first time. Nobody knew who this guy was. There was no video packages. There was no vignettes. There was no background story. There was no reason why this guy was coming out as the Demon. Why the hell is this guy? What the heck is this guy doing? The Boogeyman too? I mean, I don't understand it. So for me, these guys could get over before they even come out by doing simple things called the vignette, which is dead. And then there's going to building the characters and advancing the characters, and that's a whole different video in itself. But to me, the vignette is dead, pretty much. They need to bring it back. And not only is the vignette successful when you debut a character, but also it's successful by building a character. Think back to, I know this is really hard, and probably a lot of you never seen this. Think back to the 80s. They did this all the time. And one that sticks out in my mind is Mr. Wonderful. They used to do Mr. Wonderful like in the gym. And he would like be teaching people how to like do stuff, and he would just make fun of them, and it was hilarious. So I'm going to put that in the description as well. Mr. Wonderful at the gym. Yeah, great stuff by building a character. So not only are you getting behind the in-ring work, but you're getting behind what the casual audience cares about. And that's the TV personality, character, and that's how you build your ratings back up for Raw, Smackdown. That's how you get people behind the product, is by characters. It's not by the in-ring wrestling. It's by the storylines. It's by the characters. And it's making people care about every wrestler on the roster. Just a few examples of people that I feel are poorly misused in terms of their character development is 3 in particular that are examples of what WWE does nowadays to compensate for not giving a person a character. They give them a nickname. Kevin Owens is the prize fighter. Sasha Banks is the boss. Dean Ambrose is the lunatic. Dolph Ziggler is the show-off. It goes on and on and on. They give them a nickname, but they don't give them a character. Now, what do I mean by this? Kevin Owens, what about him as a prize fighter? What does he do that is a prize fighter? You know, what makes him a prize fighter? Explain to me what makes him a prize fighter. It doesn't make any sense. Sasha Banks, she's the boss. Why is she the boss? What does she do that makes her a boss? She's the boss of nothing, pretty much, in my opinion. Dean Ambrose is a lunatic, but when does he ever do crazy things? How is he a lunatic? What makes him a lunatic? WWE puts nicknames on people, but don't give them the actual character. And they don't follow through with the nickname. So to me, that's my opinion, that WWE forgot how to build characters. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Comment below your thoughts on bringing back vignettes, bringing back character building, bringing back the way to properly debut somebody. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's Mitch of TheBottomLineView. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was a pretty long one here. If you have any other discussions about pro wrestling that you would like me to talk about, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.